How did someone born into poverty to a former slave become the most powerful and richest man in Puerto Rico as a pirate hunter during the 1700s? Despite his humble beginnings, Miguel Enriquez was able to obtain advanced upbringing and education. Aside from that, his preparedness and ability to seize opportunity were crucial in his rise to the top at a time when Spain was having trouble with foreign pirates and other European colonial powers that were threatening its economy and power in the region. His ability to lessen that threat made him the most influential Puerto Rican on the island for at least 30 years. Unfortunately, the last years of Enriquez's life were filled with poverty and humiliation for reasons that I will explain later. Enriquez was born around 1774 to a former mulatto slave who had bought her own freedom. Her name was Graciana Enriquez. His father was unknown, but many suspect it was a white Spanish clergyman from the Catholic Church. Despite being poor, Enriquez was taught how to read and write at an advanced level. His writing style was impressive, and he knew cursive, which was evidence of extended schooling. At the age of 10, he became an apprentice shoemaker. With this skill, he not only learned how to craft leather, but he also learned the basics of business and trade. At the age of 16, as was common practice during that time, Miguel Enriquez was enlisted in the military. In the next several years, he would hone his education and skills and apply them in the military as his ambition grew. However, in the year 1700, at the age of 26, he was accused of selling contraband in his house. This contraband was a product of trades where people incapable of paying with money handed items in exchange. Found guilty, he was sentenced to a year of forced labor in Castillo San Felipe del Moro by the governor in order to pay a fine. Fortunately, he was able to have his sentence changed to instead serve in the artillery of the elite garrison corps. It seems that during this time, he impressed the governor of the island, Gutierrez de la Riva, and in 1701, he became a salesman for him. It was also under this governor that he would go on to become a pirate hunter or privateer. During this time period, Spain had begun the War of Succession as the king had died without an heir in place. This situation placed the Spanish Empire in peril, especially in the Caribbean, as the other European colonial powers and pirates sought to take advantage. By 1704, Enriquez was already being listed as a privateer, receiving an official letter of marque. By that time, the governor Gutierrez, who had supported and mentored Enriquez, had died. However, Enriquez had already acquired the knowledge and skills he needed to continue as a privateer, and he would soon make a name for himself. He became so effective as a pirate hunter that during the following years, aside from successfully warding off encroachments by foreign powers and pirates, Enriquez established close links with the Spanish monarchy. His ships were also responsible for the distribution of urgent messages that arrived from the monarchy to Puerto Rico. When there was a shortage of royal vessels, Enriquez's fleet was responsible for transporting items on behalf of Spain without charge. His fleet also provided transportation for the authorities that arrived in Puerto Rico en route to other locations and for missionaries. One of his greatest accomplishments as a privateer occurred in 1717, when Great Britain occupied the island of Vieques, which was under the control of the Spanish government of Puerto Rico. Enriquez, along with his men, organized an expeditionary force which consisted of 2 ships with 7 members of the regular Spanish army and 286 members of the Puerto Rican militia. They fought and defeated the British in Vieques, taking most of their enemy to the mainland of Puerto Rico as their prisoners. This event propelled him to national hero. He also received several recognitions and exemptions that facilitated his work and contributed towards his growing wealth. As a privateer, Enriquez also used his influence and political connections to accumulate wealth. As the top privateer, he moved legal and smuggled products with success. Enriquez gathered so much merchandise that it was unrivaled in Puerto Rico, selling anything that covered the basic necessities of the citizens, ranging from food to brushes, razors, leather, locks, and clothes. He also offered other commodities such as playing cards, wines imported from Spain, and equipment required for horse riding. In order to support this, he managed 4 warehouses, which, besides storing merchandise, were also used to manufacture anything that his ships needed. His exploits as privateer/merchant were so vast that by the time his career was over, he had reportedly commanded a fleet of over 300 ships and employed close to 1,500 sailors. It was said that his exploits controlled the economy of the island at the time. His net worth at his height was estimated to be around $200 million in today's money, which was unheard of at the time. Unfortunately for Enriquez, by 1735, as the age of piracy and the threats Spain faced decreased, his enemies gained strength in taking him down, as Spain no longer required his services that they urgently needed before. Throughout his career, Enriquez was persecuted by the Spanish elite on the island and jailed on various occasions, but he was always able to employ his influence and connections to counter them. However, as his power and influence dwindled, he was unable to fight back effectively. Eventually, he was charged with smuggling and stripped of all his power and wealth by the government. As a result, he took refuge in a church that he regularly attended in San Juan. Since he had been generous with the church for years, he did have allies that offered him protection. Eventually, the smuggling charges were dropped against Enriquez. However, he remained in the convent where he died in poverty in 1743. The same church that he attended and donated money to is still standing in Old San Juan today. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Help us to spread this video by sharing. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more videos.